The Big Issue. Breaking down the issues that matter.
Good afternoon out there, our viewers. This is another edition of The Big Issue. My name is Bode Gbadebo. I'm standing in for regular host, George Agba. And of course, today with me in the studio is Silas Ezugu.
Yeah, welcome.
Silas, welcome to The Big Issue today. And of course, Tunde Oguntola.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yes, today on the edition, we shall be discussing the call by the Katsina State Governor, Aminu Bello Masari, to the state residents to arm and defend themselves against incessant bandit attacks. On Tuesday, the governor spoke to the people in Jibia, Katsina State, where he said their meekly submission to bandit attack is emboldening the criminals. He therefore urged the people to defend themselves by taking up arms and defend themselves against these criminals. So we shall be discussing this issue today and see whether it is something that will be acceptable to all or not. And of course, like I said, I have two regular analysts, analysts today who shall dissect this issue. Silas, I'll be starting with you. The Nigerian Constitution, the 1999 Constitution, is very clear that the primary function of every government is the protection of life and property of its citizens. But here we have Katsina State Governor is telling people to defend themselves because security business is no longer government business alone.
Yes. If you go by what has happened to Nigeria in the last few years, few would argue with the governor of Katsina State, Bello Masari, who knows the law, was the Speaker of the House of Representatives at this in Abuja before he went to become governor. So know what the law says, but the first law of nature is self-preservation. Everybody in this life has a duty to protect the life that God has given him. You can't just allow someone to take it away. If you have something you can do to stop it from being wasted. Even God will ask you a question, what do you do to defend the life that I gave you to keep? Okay? We owe our lives to God, and God expects us to preserve it. So, what the governor has said is not out of the ordinary. He just says something that's natural. Now, whether it is, and we know the premise on which it's coming from. Katsina has been one of the hottest zones for banditry, kidnapping, they all come with the whole package. Rustling, kidnapping, killings, and it's just that it started more than 10 years ago. You know, so it can know the level at which, and this is not the first time it's calling for this. In fact, I also ask them, don't be meek. Don't just by staying meek, embolden them to come, knowing that nobody can challenge them. Do something, okay? Now, I don't want, without, anticipating the other questions. He's not the first person I called for this. Tiwa Danjuma, former Minister of Defense, and Tiwa Chief of Army Staff, called in 2018. He told his people during a lunch at a university that they should not wait though. They should defend themselves, defend their territory, defend their lives from bandits that will be killing them. He stood it and the government reacted. But autumn, the governor of Benue, who has also been in the eye of the storm, with herdsmen clashes, killings, and militia killings, and all the whatnot, said it in 2018. He said it again this year. So it's not a new call. Even bishops in Imo State, in somewhere in the east there, bishops, one of the eastern states, rose and said, "Look, defend yourself from people who are coming from the bush to kidnap." The current Minister of Defense, Magashi, retired general, also told Nigerians, so look, don't allow this world to run over your. So if a minister defend you, you're not telling you your own. It means that it's government job. They also say something that security not is everybody's business. Okay, but protecting life and property is government business. But if this was, it means that the capacity they have to defend you, they can no longer carry out that responsibility. That's why they're telling you defend yourself. Let me allow you to ask another question because there are a lot of angles to this call.
All right, Silas, as you speak, we are being joined by Mr. Ibrahim Katsina. Mr. Ibrahim Katsina is the special advisor to the Katsina State Governor on security matters. Mr. Ibrahim, can you hear me? Oh, can you hear me, sir?
Or good evening.
Good afternoon. Are you Katsina today? All right. Just 2 days ago. All right, that's a good one. Just 2 days ago, your principal, Katsina State Governor Aminu Bello Masari, called on the residents of the state to take up arms and defend themselves against bandit attacks. I want to ask you, as the security advisor to the governor, is the situation now out of hand for the governor to call on the people to defend themselves? Has the government lost it?
The situation at present is under control, and the call by His Excellency is a normal call, which is backed by the Police Act. You know, even if you kill somebody in self-defense, the law will not hold you accountable or responsible. And this is just history repeating itself. His Excellency is not the first executive to call to advise people to defend themselves. You know, when you ask people to arm themselves, there are legal ways. Even today, he has clarified. He said those who arm themselves will be registered by the police so that the arms can be properly monitored. But the proper thing to be done is, instead of people to be docile, to wait for these bandits to be coming and killing them like fowls. No, it's unacceptable. People should wake up. People should be alert to their responsibilities. Everybody knows our security agencies are inadequate. They need support. So what His Excellency has said is an enhancement of community policy initiative, where people will partner with security agencies. But you know, when these bandits just come to people, they beat you, you are harmless, they treat you with impunity, they kill your people, they rape your women, they steal your property. It's unacceptable. But when there are no people are armed to the teeth to defend themselves and complement security agencies, definitely they will act with caution. But now the way they act with impunity, because they know the government has restrained people from taking laws into their hands. Now government has realized the imperative of personal security is for you to defend yourself first. Then the security agencies will complement you. So what His Excellency has said is backed by the Police Act, backed by the Constitution, that yes, you have the right to self-defense. And in the process of defending yourself, you kill somebody, you have not committed any offense. He did not say go and attack them. He said defend yourself. If somebody comes to you, he wanted to kill you, and you should just stay so useless for him to come and kill you. It's never allowed. Our Constitution has given us the right. Read the Constitution properly, and he is acting based on the constitutional provision and is complementing the concept of community policy initiative. So as far as the government is concerned, we are networking the societies, and we are telling the bandits that enough is enough. We will no longer tolerate. They are human beings like us, and all of us have one life. So instead of us to be so stupid to allow one rascal to come and deal with us with impunity, let us show to them that we are human beings capable of defending ourselves. So what the state government has done is right, and we are emphasizing it. In fact, we're moving to the next set of community mobilization and sensitization, because we know these bandits is a criminal activity they are perpetrating. They are locals among the community, and since they have understood the psychology of the society, we are just law abiding to the level that they do what they like with impunity. We feel is unacceptable. And what the governor has done is out of research. We check the constitutional provision, the meaning of self-defense. We check the Police Act, the concept of self-defense, before His Excellency came up with the announcement that people should come up. Because by being law-abiding doesn't mean you should tell somebody to come and kill you, somebody to come and steal your property. So I think what we should do is for the media to tell the people correctly. You know, this war, that's the psychological aspect of it. When the bandits know that people are restrained from carrying arms, they act with impunity. But if a criminal element can
Mr. Katsina.
the
All
Constitution
right.
has given us the power.
Okay.
Yeah,
Go
the
ahead, sir.
Constitution to defend ourselves. What the governor has done is constitutional and is backed by the Constitution, self-defense. We'll go and check the meaning of it. So we were not acting outside the Constitution, or we're doing something the ordinary. And if we go through history, what makes America a free society for people to carry their arms? During their history, these barbarians used to attack everybody with impunity. And the American government decided that no, let everybody carry firearms. If the bandits can come to your place and attack you, and they know you have weapons to defend yourself, they will restrain themselves. So we are doing the same thing. What the civilized world has done is what the Kazakhstan State government is doing now by telling people, look, the government is backing you to defend yourselves. And when you get these arms, come to the police and register so that legally you can go and defend yourself to complement the effort of the security agencies. I think this is what other states should copy from Katsina. And I'm telling you, if we do this, these bandits, their days are numbered, and it will be an end to all this stupidity of criminality we're facing in the country. Because why should we allow some riffraff, some people who have no thinking, who have no vision in life, who have made criminality their lifestyle and making human life useless to continue to unleash terror on us in Katsina is unacceptable, and we're telling them with clear voice that yes, what you are doing is the right thing. Is it constitutional for a bandit to come and kill you? So since we are law abiding, we should follow the constitutional aspect to deal with these criminal elements so that it will serve as a lesson to them. Tomorrow they will know that we are not going to tolerate their impunity any longer.
All right, Mr. Special Advisor. It is not
Yes.
enough to tell the people to carry arms and defend themselves. Now, what will you do as a government? Will you buy arms for the people to defend themselves, or it is just about the governor telling people to defend themselves, then people will just, employ all manners of arms, whether permissible or not permissible by law, to defend themselves?
I've stated it earlier that even today, the governor has made clarification that those who buy firearms for self-defense should register with the police. We have a monitoring mechanism. That statement of action he made is not a statement of action, and I'm making the explanatory statement now. What he said, we discussed with the Commissioner of Police and other law enforcement agencies that, okay, any local government, anybody who has firearms, we register, then we take stock of how many people have firearms there. So the firearms His Excellency said people should defend themselves with is the legal one. I hope you get me. We know that instead of you to go and sell your house, to go and sell your farm to pay for ransom, it is better for you to take little resources and get pump action gun that the police authority authorized you to hold, to take any form of weapon that is legally allowed, to go and register with the DPO. And, we say we are complementing the efforts of the security agencies to reduce measure. Because if we allow them, the criminal elements will continue to unleash terror on us. So what the government has done is to clarify situation that, look, you can defend yourself. And by sending this message, already the criminal elements have started retreating because they know it was the government that restrained people from taking law into their hands. Now that the government has allowed people to go and defend themselves, the criminals are having to think. They know that now it's a do or die. If they come, the people will deal with them, and it's no longer going to be tolerated for them to come and unleash terror on our people and be killing us like fowls.
All right, Mr. Special Advisor. Let me also ask you
Yeah.
this, because Katsina State, I know very well, is largely a rural state. Now, do you also factor in the large percentage of the rural population, talking about arms acquisition, registration of firearms? The rural dwellers, the villagers, how are they going to do about this? And they are the worst hit by banditry. Can they afford
What
it?
I want people to understand, what I want people to understand is very simple. It's not the entire Katsina State that is engulfed by banditry. It's about 9 local governments or 10 that are involved or engulfed with banditry. And most of these local governments, the bandits that are attacking them are from the local communities. So if a bandit can source for firearms to unleash terror on people, then the law-abiding citizens should also do the same. And what we say is very easy to regulate and control the usage of these firearms, in the sense that we have already discussed with the police authorities, as I told you, the Commissioner of Police is aware, the SSS are aware. We said anybody who is buying firearms should register with the local police authorities so that we regulate. We know how many people are having firearms. And after we deal with these criminal elements, we are going to mop up these firearms from the people so that we have stable society. What we are doing now is an interim measure to show to them that, look, the culture of impunity that you are dealing with our people is no longer acceptable. Everybody knows the crime psychology these criminal elements are using is because they know the inadequacy of security agencies in the area. We don't have enough of them to go around. But these criminals are terrorizing everybody. So when we have local vigilante, let me be frank with you, the concept is to encourage local vigilante initiative where some segment of the society can be armed to complement the security efforts. So it's not everybody that will be carrying firearms like bandits. No. What we mean is there should be community efforts to complement the efforts of the security agencies. And by doing so, we are sending message to the criminals that is no longer going to be business as usual in Katsina, that will no longer tolerate crime and criminality under any disguise. And anybody who thinks can take our people for granted should have a receipt, because enough is enough.
All right, Mr. Advisor, I want you to stay with us. We'll go on a short break, and when we come back, we will continue the discussion. We'll be back shortly.
Thank you.
The Big Issue. Breaking down the issues that matter.
Welcome back, and of course, it's still the big issue. I'm still in the studio with our in-house analysts, Salak Ezugu and Tunde Oguntola, and we are being joined by the special advisor to the Katsina State Governor on security matters, Honorable Ibrahim Katsina. Tunde, you had the special advisor. So, what do you have to say?
Okay, for me, self-defense is a divine right of every individual.
Yes.
It is inherent. Like you cannot even watch
It's
someone.
part of law of nature.
Yeah, to even just have a pinch on you without reacting. Everyone will react, and it's also a universal right according to the Article 51 of the United Nations, which puts that as a collective need of mankind. So, if going back to Castina, I think the government alone should not just push the issue of self-defense to people because bandits, they have money, they are rich. I don't think
They come in a large number.
some analysts have even called them banditry Nigerian PLC because they know that these people are rich. They come with their numbers.
Yes.
They come with their
Hundreds.
bikes with sophisticated weapon. Okay, now you ordinary Nigerians, even though if you have a license gun, it will be pump action. Pump action, I think it costs perhaps maybe 500,000, within 500 to 700,000 to buy. But these people are coming with AK-47. Can you stand them with that? Yes, although it's not bad for the Katsina State government to ask the citizens to also brazen up to at least challenge them. But what do you have on ground? The government should not put all the responsibilities to the citizen. At least maybe create checkpoints. Maybe you arm vigilantes. Maybe at least for each local government or for each locality, if there are 200 people, at least there should be 20 vigilantes. They should try to impute this while also ensuring that the citizen, even though if it's a bow and arrow, should also have that. Even if it's stone, should also have that. They should know that okay, they are coming to challenge.
Just though you're in a state of war.
Yes,
kind of.
Okay, this insecurity, the issue of security is becoming a major phenomenon here in Nigeria. Look at before now, do we have Amatekun in southwest? No,
It was a child of necessity.
everybody.
Yes, and
Yes.
too.
Do we have
In
here
the
in
southeast.
the southeast?
It
We
was
don't
also
have
it also
all
came out
this.
because of this.
Yes, the Amatekun is there to protect the Yorubas. You understand? And ESN. So all these while coming, at least government should also be on their toes to tackle this challenge.
All right, Honorable Ibrahim Katsina.
You're welcome.
Okay, sir. Let me ask you the trajectory of insecurity in Katsina State. Even though insecurity is not peculiar to Katsina State, the whole of the northwestern states are bedeviled with one insecurity menace or the other. But then I remember at the inception or at the beginning of this program, the Katsina State government raised alarm. Troops were mobilized to Katsina State. Then at a point again, we saw the Katsina State government negotiating with the bandits, trying to persuade them against their banditry. Then it failed. Now the governor is telling the people to defend themselves. So can you actually tell us what were the efforts you put in place that failed before asking people to defend themselves?
Well, we could not say that the measures we put have failed, but the government has been betrayed at the initial stage when it extended the olive tree and that, okay, come, let us negotiate. We were thinking they are responsible people that will understand the imperatives of negotiations. But when we understand that they are irresponsible, they abuse privilege, we feel let us speak to them in the language they understand. And as the last speaker has said, already the state government is building a volunteer vigilante corps of about 3,000 men. And now we are training about 500 of them as I'm talking to you. They will complement the local efforts. And this vigilante corps will be armed by the security agencies. As he has rightly observed, we are going to use them in every community because that's the concept of community policing efforts. I am an expert in community policing research, and I know that with proper community mobilization and sensitization, you get the best results. So So we are having our own vigilante corps that we are training in their own security agency. They will carry arms. People will be carrying is just to complement the efforts of the security agencies. But the truth of the matter is, in addition to various measures we are taking, we know every crime has a local content. And enlightenment as a principle that will make people key with the government and other security agencies. So that when we partner with members of the public, also what we are doing is ensuring that we give when we arm our vigilantes, definitely it will reduce the burden on the society and on the security agencies. And this vigilance, in essence, is the measures put in place by the government. You know, we have
Okay. Mr. Ibrahim. Okay. All right, seems we are having a challenge with connection.
since yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
So now our traditional rulers are being integrated into the security architecture in the state. So the involvement of traditional rulers in the security architecture, it will reduce the burden. In fact, this issue of arming the students is not the last aspect of our security arrangements, but we have come up with robust security perspective. Because with proper education, people can be carried along. And after public education, when we put traditional rulers in the forefront, they know this criminal element, they know their hideout, they know their locations. So it will be easy for us. And I'm assuring you, this new initiative by Katsina State government, if adopted by our adjoining states, sooner than you expect, crime and criminality will be a thing of the past in Katsina. And go through history. Katsina in the northwest is the state that is having the least of these banditry attacks based on the measures we're putting in place. And that's why we're reinforcing the measures we're putting in place since we have realized their pain. So the measures we have taken initially have not failed us. But the issue of amnesty, we thought the people, since they are locals, will understand the venture given to them by His Excellency. But since they abuse that privilege, we feel the best thing is let us treat them in the way they understand. And since there's nobody has monopoly of violence, they should realize that to be law-abiding is not a license for any criminal to come and deal with you. So we are expanding the frontiers of the security arrangements. That's why we introduced this concept of self-defense to complement the efforts we've been making in ensuring that our society is secured. That's my take on that.
So treating them in the language they understand. Finally, let me ask you, would there be any framework to follow this so that at the end of the day, we will not create another anarchy out of the banditry menace? Would that
God
be a
bless you.
monitoring
We are
framework?
putting, yes, they will work with the security structure in the local government areas. And as I've said, the state government has passed into law 3-tier security structure, where from the village head to ward head to the district head, they are incorporated in the security arrangement of the state. So we have a structure that will effectively monitor whatever we are doing. And as we said, anybody that buy any firearms will be registered, and any of our activities are properly regulated by the law. Will ensure we operate within the confines of the law, will not allow anybody to operate outside the law. And that's why we said we will not go to the enclave, but anybody who come to us in the name of attacking us, to kill us, to the possessors of our property, to deal with us, we are going to deal with him ruthlessly so that it will serve as a lesson to others. So this networking we're doing is definitely paying off, and I'm assuring you, we are putting in structures to be monitored by the security agencies in liaison with the traditional rulers, so that we have a robust arrangement that is all-encompassing. We're not just doing this decision off head. No, it's after research. It's a knowledge-based approach. What you have just heard from the governor is the conclusion that, okay, in
Many thanks to
complementary
you.
effort to what we are doing, people should defend themselves so that we will not allow criminal elements to overwhelm us.
Okay.
Many thanks to you, Honorable Ibrahim Katsina, Special Advisor on Security Matters to the Katsina State Governor, Aminu Bello Masari. We thank you
God
very
bless
much for
you,
joining
and
us
thank
from
you so
Katsina
much for
and the Leadership Podcast today.
thank you so much for helping Katsina to overcome security challenges.
It's our pleasure at the Leadership Media Group.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, Tunde, silence, you had him. I think he said it all.
Yes, I said it all. You know, you were talking about getting a local arrangement vigilante. You see, we are coming back to the same thing. We're talking about how to decentralize the
Security policing system, having a
system.
state police and the rest.
Yeah. And then when we're talking about this, you know, decentralization, we are politicizing it. And they were talking about the politicians using it against themselves. They were just interested in their own safety. But this thing has transcended just politics.
Honestly.
It's our life. And you cannot send somebody from possibly Sokoto who has never who grew up in a desert to go and police a swamp area when he cannot swim.
Does not understand the terrain.
You know the culture, the terrain, everything they will change to him. In fact, you will see those people as people to exploit. But if it's manning his town or his group, his uncles are there, his by marriage contact the house, so he will feel responsible
And
to
of course,
do whatever he can.
These are central to
But this
effective
is that
policing.
if a person is a stranger, can call him that something, he will not even respond because
Exactly.
he doesn't have any connection to you.
Exactly.
So we need that structuring.
Exactly.
Apart from the economy or security.
Yeah,
policing.
central. Yes, I
We need
agree
to
with
do
you.
it. And everything we're talking about, those in charge to be just flying through.
I agree with
They need
you.
to do
Those
something
things
about
you
it.
mentioned are central to effective policing and local intelligence. Today, lastly, what do you have to say to round up this program?
Well, few days ago, we saw how Taliban take over
Kabul,
Afghanistan, and they chase out the president. It's a big lesson for us as a nation. America spends trillions of millions to
lost
conquer,
personnel
as well as personnel, lives lost
in 20 years.
to defeat them. But just after pulling over within just few weeks or months, and the Taliban take over everything. So government should keep investing in insecurity, listening more to the people, and ensure that all hands on decks to tackle this.
Well, I hope our policymakers and we, the citizens, will get our acts together to salvage Nigeria from its insecurity challenges. Many thanks to you, viewers out there, for creating time to listen to us today. Make it time with us tomorrow for another edition of The Big Issue. Thank you very much, Silas. And of course, today, thank you for coming. My name remains Body Badebo. Bye-bye for now.